Hi everybody, welcome to this tutorial where in which we are going to discuss the interface acclimatization of 3D equalizer software. As you can see that the interface is not very expressive in terms of graphical user interface, but all I could say is that um, it has got all those features on the screen that's required for you to get the best match. Why So I'm sure this session is going to help you in getting yourself acclimatized and get yourself used to some of the features in the system, uh, in the uh, in the software, so that your future projects would be pretty easy to work on. To start off with, we would look at the preferences options, which would have options such as the transparency, the brightness, the wedge size, the display area background. Now the transparency is nothing but the transparency of these buttons that you see here, or the navigation bar, as well as these buttons at your eye. Now this can be it can be opaque or it can be transparent. So you could keep it semi-transparent generally. And the brightness is the brightness of these buttons with in comparison to the background. Wedge size is the size of the font, the size of the button, which can be increased or decreased, and preferably keep it at a -4 or even -3, -5. -3 looks okay. The display area background is your brightness of the background, which can be increased or decreased. Now, unlike the other softwares, you cannot change the color of the interface. It's a pretty dull-looking ash gray color, so you've got to live with that. Because the one good thing about 3D Equalizer is that they've never concentrated on making it a graphical look. Rather, they've just concentrated on getting the job done with the minimum of fuss. So there we go. Well, there are some more features which we wouldn't be going in depth as of now. Like things like you could change the measurement tables from focal length. You could change it to to centimeters or inches, but generally we keep focal length in and film back units in centimeters. uh, you could change this value as well. The default FPS, that's frames per second, can be changed from 24 to any number based on your project requirement or the film rate of speed. The film back values can be changed here. Now the image cache can be increased based on your system performance, and that's about it for now for us to know here. So I'm going to close the preferences. I'm going to start off with some of the shortcut keys that you could actually assign as we go through. Now shortcut keys can be assigned at any stage in the menu. Now let's assume that you would like to give a shortcut key for the basic. All you've got to do is right click on basic. There we go. Got to do is right click on basic. You get a define shortcut there. Click on it. It opens up a menu. Now it gives, if there are any shortcut keys assigned prior to this, it would display here in this in this pad. Now if there isn't, then it shows empty. Now if you would like to assign a new shortcut key, you would have to click on the acquire shortcut. Once you click on acquire shortcut, now it's ready for you to type in any kind of shortcuts you'd like to configure to this particular thing. Now let me just look at it. Now I see that the name of it is basic, so I would like to keep something with B. So how about an alt B? Just type in alt B on your keyboard, and it displays alt B onto your shortcut text box. Now if there was an alt B available already, it would then display here. Since there is nothing here, that's fine with it. All you need to say is use shortcut. Now you can already see here that this basic has got an Alt B shortcut key, and that shows that that's been configured. Now when I press Alt B on my keyboard, it pulls up the basic environment window. Now that's the feature of that particular button there. Now the next thing that we're going to go through is the environment button menu. We can see that you've got the basic, you've got the overview, the tracking only. Uh, now let's click on the preview, and this is how the preview window would look like, which not much of buttons. Is just for you to view an image sequence if there is any, or any tracked values, or any solved information. Now I'd like to pull up one particular track. Let's assume it is the timeline track. Now the timeline environment has got about four little windows. Now each of these have specific functionalities. Now, although I don't want to discuss the details of each of these windows, what I would rather do is to show you something called customizing this environment. Customization is nothing but making your own environment for your convenience. Now let's assume that you didn't want a timeline editor here. All you need to do is just close this, and you wanted these, which is important for, let's say I don't want even these windows. I only needed the scene window and the deviation browser. Okay, now this is my customized window look. Now how do I save this? To save this, you go to environment, you go to configure. Now these are the standard environments that you see here in this list. To save this, all you've got to do is give a name, custom, click on add. As soon as you add this, the custom gets updated on, rather I type it again, custom, click on add. Okay, that's got updated here. I don't require the last one, delete it. Custom is around, save it and close it. Now when I go to environment, when I click on, okay, now let me change the view to the overview. I go to environment, if I click on custom, that's the new environment that I just created. Alright, now going further, Windows, well, the 3D equalizer, this is the first menu which has the option of creating a new project, or opening a project, saving project as, exporting projects to different softwares, different 3D softwares, or just to know about who designed the software. Science Vision is nothing but a software company in Germany that has designed the entire software. And just an update on that, in comparison to the other tracking software, 3D equalizer is being designed completely from scratch. Now when I say scratch, well, as far as I know, it is about 90% is completely from scratch. Now what I mean by that is that no previous coding or previous existing coding of other softwares is used in making of this particular software. They have completely created a new coding for um, new improved coding for the customized requirements of the demands of each customers, and that's how finally they've got this software up and running. Right, all right. Another thing that we should know is the attribute editor, which is there under the Windows option. Now this has got things such as the camera details like the image sequence or the live action footage, um, and it's got it's got the frame rates per second, which can be changed here. Now it's got the point option, the 3D model, the lens, the point group, and the project. Now this is for generally for used for solve or the calculation. That's what they call it here. Um, yeah. Another way of opening the same window would be to just double click on the sequence, and that attribute window opens up automatically. Now let's try and load in an image sequence by clicking on the browse. Search for your file and just make sure that you have the image sequence in the list. You click on OK, and you would see an image sequence at their background. Now you could close this window, and here we have an image sequence. Now as you move your frame, you could see the image sequence being moved, but just note that this right now is working on your temporary memory. Now once you've loaded your sequence onto this, the first thing that you always have to do is to go to playback and click on import buffer compression file. Now what this does is that it imports this image sequence into a buffer and stores it into the hard disk, and 1:10 is the ratio at which it actually compresses the file. Now let me just do that for you here. Now it is importing the frames, and once this is done, you could just easily scrub through these without any um, any difficulty. Now that's one good thing that you can see here. Now here, the reason why I loaded this image sequence is actually to explain you uh, the navigation bar. Now, the navigation bar has got frame by frame definitions. You could go one by one by clicking on the +1 options, or you could reduce it. You can go one frame back by -1 options. We got the play button. Uh, this is the home, and this is the end. Now some of the shortcut keys that you can remember is end is to go to the last, home on the keyboard is the first frame, spacebar is play, spacebar again is to stop, home again goes to the first frame. If you want to go one frame by frame, use the right arrow key on your keyboard. It goes one frame, and vice versa. The the left key goes back to the first. So that's some of the details of the navigation bar. Now I would pretty much end your interface session right here, because I don't think we should go in detail as of now. I think the next session, when I start off with a project, we would we will touch on things such as the track, the frame by frame track, um, things like the GUI marker, very interesting ones. These things that you see here, it's very interesting ones, and these are your main differences in comparison to the other match-move softwares, which I would explain to you once I go to the next session. That's pretty much it, and I will end my session here on the interface acclimatization tutorial. And the next session we would start off with a mini project rather. All right. Okay. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.